Okay. Damn. That crazy, guys. Okay. Hello. I'm not used to being the last speaker, but okay, let's start. Okay. One of the most memorable moments of my life that involved public speaking was in junior high school, wherein I entered a pageant. Yeah, you heard that right. The Annika Monterola, someone who as a child hesitated so much and is probably the chronic overthinker Kara was talking about, was chosen as a representative for the pageant. During the Q&A portion, I was asked about the importance of winning. I said, and I quote, that winning is merely a bonus, as the real thing that you have to treasure in your life is the journey that comes along the way. And I think that the judges took that way too seriously, because I only won first runner-up in that pageant. I think I can get behind that idea, right? Winning is an important thing, but obviously the journey is such more important. But obviously, we can never deny the joy and fulfillment you get with winning. But we also, on the other hand, live in reality. And life isn't a game that will make you always win. Fast forward to when I was a student here, where this statement would become more relevant with the endeavors I would choose to pursue. Constantly entering debate competition after debate competition is definitely not for the weak, and most definitely not for the quick to quit. And I think today, I want to share this to all of you, that the remnants of a journey should be the thing you should care most about as a leader. Leadership has constantly been perceived as something natural, something certain, that the individual who among the crowd is a leader is something that you know is innate with them. But whether people believe me or they don't, I haven't been this way. But neither have you, or you, maybe you. You and I have gone through so much changes in the world that inevitably makes us adapt to different things. Maybe you're used to crossing the road and commuting on the daily. Some people may not, and that's okay, but I think commuters are better. In my case, I used to love dancing a lot, even if I couldn't do the splits as a child, but let's not talk about that, and used to think that I would pursue something in the arts in the future. But look at me now, someone in humanities, hoping my voice can resonate with at least some of you here. I, for one, was not naturally the leader type, because I feel like a lot of people would have assumed otherwise. I led some things, of course, like group works, class projects, but I never personally felt that it was in me to lead a community, even if it is as little as an organization within school. If I'm being honest with you, and I don't know myself, I don't know how to explain how I became this way. I mean, obviously, if you gave me the time, the memories, I would probably know how. But it's not as if like the chances that I have in life came because I'm privileged or it's because I didn't do anything to make it happen. I have my JHS friends here in the audience. I don't know where you are right now, but I don't even think they would have expected me to be like this. Or maybe they did, and I'm just an airhead. But at the same time, I wouldn't have expected to meet any of you here, and I think that's the unique part of the journey. The universe we choose to live our lives in now may be different from whatever parallel universe is out there. Heck, I might actually do the splits in one of them. I might actually be pursuing the arts in one of them. The concept of fate is inherently a gamble. Nothing is certain. But what a leader can do is make do with what they have despite whatever circumstances go their way. When it came to the start of me as a leader, an important thing that I always kept in mind is that a leader shouldn't be perceived as someone above you. Sure, obviously we'll have hierarchies placed. There's gonna be seniors, there's gonna be juniors, there's gonna be officers and non-officers, and that dichotomy shouldn't be treated lightly. And obviously there's like certain responsibilities that will only go to the leader themselves. Although personally, I believe that it is not leader-like for a person to just boss people around and tell them what to do. People, and especially leaders, serve for their people. For instance, and yes, this is the part where I talk about LSTL, I wanted to make LSDL an organization wherein you can both discover yourself, but also discover new parts of yourself. I wanted to make peace with the pressure of being such a competitive debate varsity, and I don't know if I really achieved it. But hey, the attempt was there, and that's what matters. As a leader, one of the core skills you must have is the ability to interact and spark conversations with people. So you may already guessed it. I am that person that will order for the friends in galas, right? Like, oh, can you order for me? I'm like, fine. I think it's kind of funny to say this, right? But I'll say it anyway. I interact with people as if they're just like me, for real. To me, if you think way too much about like possibilities, you hinder that possibility of possibly having a close friend or maybe a lover. And that thought in it of itself, coming from someone like me who has hesitated so much, who has been so used to the bubble that they are in, is something that I should be proud of. Because God knows that little me, little Annika, Aki, or Monty, I don't know who you know me as, would care so much about what other people think. And it's not an easy feat to do this, right? It's a learning process. And especially as a leader, whether you like it or not, you would have to stand your own ground. You would probably have to go against things when it's not the majority vote. Whether you have a team by your side or not, and this is not to offend my executive board, I love them very much, it is expected that you, as an individual, have mastered both independence and the compassion to care so much about the people around you. And let me tell you, it's not an easy thing to just juggle around on the daily. Being a leader is reminiscent of taking care of yourself, except being a leader is a result dependent on caring for people around you. Before I continue, let's have some audience participation. Okay, so you guys have to raise your hand, and I am expecting everyone here to raise their hand. Who has experienced a flop era in their life? That's what I like to hear. I feel like we're all pretty familiar with the concept of flop eras, right? Like, I feel like every single day I'm like, guys, I'm in the trenches again. And we're all familiar with it. The trenches being maybe academics, your love life, even friendships. And if you tell me that you haven't experienced a flop era, you're lying. Get some help. But let's all be a bit real. We've had our ups and downs in life. But having those downs as a leader, phew, I think that it's an important thing to talk about, that you would have to sacrifice a bit of yourself. May it be like that competition where, oh my God, so many of our participants won, but so many lost too. The most important thing that you have to remember, whether you're a leader or not, is to never lose yourself. Never forget the routine that you have constantly been accustomed to. Never forget the loud cheers of your loved ones, and most especially, right? Never forget why you started in the first place. The most unique thing about everyone's journey is that it is led by you. A lot of things that you may consider important, you deal with utmost care, you anticipate, might just be someone's normal day-to-day life. The things you may achieve may be someone's, if only I just did it. And for a time, that was me. I was stuck in the restaurant, if you know what I mean. I thought it was too late. I was literally grade 10 at the time, and I was like, what will 2 years do to my life, right? And I thought I would just be there. But with some hope, a lot of grit, and my favorite part, breakdowns to Maybe This Is Me Trying by Taylor Swift and Not Strong Enough by Boy Genius, I am able to be the person speaking on stage now. I am proud to say that I have such an amazing cast of people supporting me, and that love has always been there, waiting for me to unleash its full potential. Leading with love allows me to not only understand myself as a person, but the ability to remain compassionate happens almost instinctively. Although a lot of people may think of me as intimidating or scary because I'm always like, who are you? Notice that I'm still full of love, and that love keeps me going, especially as a leader. That love, whether you're a leader or not, has been with us ever since we were born. For me, this love has both inspired and will continue to inspire me to achieve great things in life. This love can be so empowering, but it is in a form of a gentle hug from someone that you care about. It has guided me time and time and time again to rise up gracefully and to lead with it. Being a leader is not an easy feat. And sometimes you will feel that the whole world is against you and your desires. Trust me, I know that story all too well. Those times wherein you felt that you have put in so much effort, your literal blood, sweat, tears, you think about it day and night, only to get to something so far off from your actual aspirations. At worst, you may not receive anything at all. These moments are especially heavy as a leader. And honestly, I didn't want to mention this, but I think that this memory perfectly encapsulates what I mean by achieving things. During that national competition and debate, there are times that myself as a leader have felt that I fell flat and gone nothing close to the expectations placed upon me. These moments are jarring and have honestly made me want to just quit debate. And it's a common tale in the land of debate to feel like you have not done enough to achieve the things that you want. And even if it has been literal months since this damning competition, it is always haunting me at the back of my mind. Reflecting on this would probably make me cry on a normal day, but it's TEDx, so I'm obviously going to act mature. Because this moment has always had a place in such a heavy part of my heart. But the light of the tunnel at the end of the day is that I'm able to truly appreciate the people around me, the people who were there for me throughout it all. The split-second moments of hanging out, sharing laughs, being a bit too unhinged with jokes reminded me that people are full of love. They remind me why it is worth being a leader, to why it's worth the headaches, all the tears, all the paperwork, the amount of group chats, and all the exhaustion. They are the journey I choose time and time again to cherish. And these are the stories I would wish to live on, even if we all part ways. Love gives you the necessary strength for the long journey of life ahead. But it hasn't always been this way. I wasn't built with such a tough shell as a child. I wasn't built to get used to always losing. Actually, there was this one time where I wouldn't have thought that any of this would be achievable in my timeline. In this moment, I would almost lose myself and shut down any remaining passion in me. It was a scary time too because it happened at the peak of COVID-19, and God knows COVID-19 was bad to us all. But the loneliness in me almost felt like it had eaten me whole. But somehow, with some miracle, I had still been able to slowly pick up the remnants of my journey and build it whole again. You know, this way of being vulnerable and being able to tell you these stories are important for a leader because it makes you be more relatable and it doesn't put you in that above thing that I talked about. But I just can't wrap my own head about it because now you guys know that things about me and I might not even know you. Like, what the hell? I might even be a nobody. You might be like, who the hell is Annika Monterola? I don't know them. Or in some cases, I might even carry a title like daughter, friend, senior, or even captain. Okay. But what I want each one of us to understand is that I don't want these titles to define me, to put me in the box and act accordingly to what is expected. I want to be perceived as someone who is out there pushing throughout the journey of life despite its hardships. Honestly, I don't even mind if some of you remember me as that person who broke down that one roller coaster of a time in Katipunan. Or maybe that person who is way too comfortable with sharing the times I've broken down about almost anything. Maybe even that pageant girl who didn't get the win at the end of the day. I'm still salty about that. What I'm trying to say is that I want to be defined by the moments that make me who I am today. And it is important to acknowledge both the good and bad moments. Because even if I am the person previously mentioned, I am also the person who think had a great attempt at balancing the peace and pressure in LSDL. I am the person that has achieved multiple accolades in debate, stayed consistent with academics, and is still in touch with my inner self. And God, I am the person who chooses to wake up 4 a.m. every morning and power through the busy commute of Las Piñas to TAF. And none of this would have been possible without the journey I have had. The way I'm able to influence people, in a big way or in a teeny tiny way, is all thanks to the person who I was yesterday, weeks ago, months ago, and even years ago. The sense of growth is not just us leaving our childhood and transitioning to another period of our life, like teenage years or adulthood. It is the moment we pick up things from these stages and cherish them and bring them along to our journey. This is why I urge everyone in this room that no matter what you're going through, the journey is not simply important only from the beginning. To me, it is the soul of who you are today. Because let's be real, the results and achievements that you get as a person, may it be like highest honors or you broke in this competition, wouldn't have been possible if you didn't train a lot. Wouldn't have been possible if you took the time to actually study and understand the concept that you have to know. Before I end this speech, I want to thank little me, that little Annika Akimonti, for the wonder and curiosity. The impulsivity, which is still apparent to this day. I'm so sorry. I constantly message group chats and say, hey guys, what do I eat for lunch? Can you decide for me? But most importantly, I want to thank little me for the passion to continue leading with love as every day passes each one of us. One of the things that I wish that would resonate at the end of my speech is simple. Never lose yourself and always remember the soul of your journey. Whether you aced that test, lost that tournament, let that person be your totga, at the end of the day, maybe it was about the friends we made along the way. All I know for certain is that the remnants of my journey was filled with love throughout every step. Thank you. Long live Valencia.